morning, everybody. I am Debbie Grise, and tonight is a very special evening. I am going to be interviewing the one and only Randy Gage. I'm very excited about this. If you are new here, Randy is the #1 network marketing person in the world, has written 15 best-selling books. He is in the Hall of Fame, and he is a very good friend of mine and my mentor. So I'm real excited to be doing this tonight. And what I want to tell you is this night is going to be about you. Our intention is for you to have an experience of what you have already in your body and soul to be considered empowering, but maybe you just haven't tapped into it yet. So tonight is going to be about you learning how to tap into your empowerment, your prosperity, to be successful in your life, in all areas of your life. So you might ask, what is empowerment? Well, to me, as it relates to you, your RAIN business, or your personal life, it's that you give yourself permission or even make a declaration to be more confident, have more feeling of ability, of empowerment and success, and to know that and believe that you can actually do it. So we're going to have a question and answer time, and I am excited. Are you excited, Randy?
I am. Yeah, for you guys who associates have been in the biz a while, we've been doing some fresh approaches to the Leadership Academy. And one of the things we created was this new template to say, hey, let's do some interviews where one of the associates will pick one of the diamonds or top leaders and just pick a topic to ask them about. And so this is the first one of those. And I am excited for what I think it can mean for people to build forward, build success.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so my first question to you is a positive and productive mindset important for a person's success, and why, and what is needed to have this accomplished? And how does that relate to self-empowerment?
Expectations. That's the key word there. People who expect to be successful end up successful. People who don't expect to be successful don't become successful because they're expecting the other shoe to drop. They're expecting the next calamity around the corner. And they attract that. They manifest that. They actually call that into existence. Whereas when you expect to succeed at anything, whether we're talking about sports, whether we're talking about rain, whether we're talking about playing bridge or chess or sailing a boat around the world, people who expect to succeed, they create a belief structure that supports that expectation. And so it is really, I'm a big, I've been teaching prosperity principles for 35, 40 years. I still have a dream board on my office. I still do affirmations. I still do visualizations. And what am I really doing? I'm getting my mindset of expectation.
Wow, that's fantastic. Okay. Our next question, how could somebody set themselves up to success with regard to their personal appearance, their presentation of how their home looks, and how can that enhance their empowerment and prosperity?
God, there's so many ways we can approach this. And a lot of it's going to depend on your personality, right? But one of the things I think you start with is your environment. I like chrome and glass. I like modern. Other people like antiques, right? Look at your house and your background. Look at my background. Two completely different approaches. That's okay. Everybody has their state, and there's 50 other ones that aren't mine, aren't yours. It's different people. But I would say, is that environment harmonious, right? If you have a place, books are stacked everywhere, if papers are stacked on the floor, if clothes are hanging over chairs and sofas, and dirty dishes are in the sink, it's a busy, cluttered environment. And that leads to busy, cluttered thinking. When you have a harmonious environment, I mean, I'm always shocked when friends come to my house for the first time, people who have never been here. They always say, "My God, you must have cleaned the house for a week because you knew I was coming." Or, "Do you, does anybody, two different people have said, "Do you really live here? This is like a showroom where, the real estate agents show the apartments." And that always shocks me because I love my environment to be harmonious, right? I'm in the penthouse here. And why am I in the penthouse? Because I think it's sound status, or no, I'm in the penthouse because they're like 12, 14-foot ceilings instead of a 10-foot ceiling. What does that do? It just creates more space. I feel less trapped, more expansive. I think it's good for my creativity. I think it's good for my mindset. How you dress, right? Let's be honest, it's a much more casual dress code all through the world, all through the business world. There's very few black tie events anymore. There's very few dress up holidays. There's not that many people that dress up to go to church. I go to jury duty and people are showing up in their Budweiser t-shirts and their shorts and their flip-flops. And I'm like, okay, things have changed a little. I guess that's just the way it's done. But we still, I think, like I can wear a sport jacket and an open collar shirt and still look more presentable than somebody who's wearing a crumpled up suit and tie because they didn't get it clean and they didn't take 10 minutes to
Yeah.
look in the mirror before they leave the house. Um, if you have hair and at least you brush it or comb it, if the ladies, if you want to use makeup, okay, but don't make it where you look like a clown or where it's painted on 2 inches thick, right? We just, one of the things I even work with my top diamonds, right? When we do leadership retreats, I brought in a etiquette expert one year
No.
who just taught us etiquette at tables because I didn't know, right? I'm white trash with money, right? This is, I come from a single mom who raised 3 kids by herself, knocking on doors selling Avon. I started getting the business world and I'd go to a luncheon and I'm like, is that my bread plate? Is that my iced tea? Is that which fork am I supposed to use? I didn't know any of that stuff, right? I'm just sitting there kind of looking what everybody else is doing. And I thought, probably not the only person like that. And I knew I wasn't because I brought in people so I brought in an etiquette person. I brought in fashion consultants sometimes, right? Not that people need to do that when they start in our business, but come on, when you start making $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month, people kind of expect a certain vibe out of you.
Yeah.
So it just starts with clearing your mind in the morning, self-development, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, your clothes are pressed. They don't have to be Armani suits. They just have to say, hey, I care about you because I care about myself.
Right.
Because, yeah, when you meet somebody and they're disheveled and, you know, disorganized and messy or dirty or wrinkled, you say, this person doesn't really have self-respect. So they take their cues from you on how to treat you. So when you go out in the world, you send a statement. Every time you go to the Whole Foods market, every time you're waiting at the bus stop, every time you go, because people say, well, I'm not going to Be the Breakthrough presentation. Well, that's not actually where you build your business at the Be the Breakthrough presentation. Where you build the business is when you're going to the movies and the supermarket and the bus stop and you're meeting real people in the real world.
Yeah. Thank you. That was perfect, actually. So if someone thinks, oh, it's good enough, or I'll finish that when I have time, maybe I'll do it later, how does that relate to self-empowerment? And does that have a direct correlation to their prosperity?
Well, let me recite a poem I wrote on this subject. I know
Okay.
you're very poetic. You like to write poems. So
Yeah.
I wrote a poem. Here's my poem. All perfectionists are procrastinators. All procrastinators are perfectionists. That's my poem. You,
I
because
love you.
you recognize that if you say, oh, I can't make this call because my invitation isn't perfect yet. I can't contact that person because I haven't done my whole list yet. I haven't completed this whole. That's just procrastination. You're disguising it as perfection because you're selling yourself a story. Well, I want it to be right. I want it to be perfect. There is no
Yeah.
perfect. There's only real. There's only action or inaction. And a lot of times, people are using perfectionism as a as an excuse to just procrastinate.
Wow. Okay. That was really well said. Okay, so the next question is with regard to self-improvement and self-empowerment, should a person take personal time, like alone time when nobody's around, no cell phones, no nothing? And if they should do that, please include what actions they can take to further themselves with that.
There's kind of a sub issue here that probably should be addressed, which is
Okay.
addiction to devices that we have now and what
Um,
that does to people's attention span and concentration and clarity. The phone is such the smartphone is such an incredible invention. Uh, but it's turned really dangerous for a lot of people, particularly digital natives who grew up like most. If you meet a 23-year-old person today, they probably have had a smartphone for 10 to 15 years. So their
yeah,
formative years were spent with a device that's triggered to trigger them and disrupt their concentration and diminish the ability for linear thinking, clarity of thought. They're
yeah,
used to being told what to think instead of how to think. Um, so devices are really dangerous. So they can be really amazing, right? So for me, I have my phone and I have podcasts on my phone, and then I listen to podcasts when I'm doing cardio. So I like to do elliptical or treadmill or the stationary bicycle, and I kind of rotate them so my body doesn't plateau with one or the other, and I'm getting good results. And then I'm listening to them. So that's 20 minutes a day, sometimes 30. Um, but you need time without devices where you just meditating or breathing or chanting or praying, whatever. I'm not here to get into anybody's spiritual being. It's you guys, I'm not here to convert anybody to anything. But I'm saying find the thing that works for you and spend time with that. And um, there is like I wrote a book a while back, 5, 6 years maybe, called Mad Genius, and did
okay.
really well. It was a New York Times bestseller, USA Today, Money Book, everything. Um, but of all the feedback I get from it, and it's still years, because even 5 years, 6 years after a book comes out, you just get these random DMs or emails from people. Oh my God, I just got your book in chapter six. And the thing that I hear most about the book is how I talk about I always schedule thinking time every week. For me, it's 45 minutes. No phone, no tablet, literally a paper tablet like this, a pen or pencil, and it'll be my beat or like green tea, and I will just think. And the tablet is just there for anything I might want to write down, to work on, think about, remember later. But it's just scheduled for thinking. Um, there's people that they've been raised with telephones. They can't even do that. They can't.
Yeah.
I ran into a friend at Whole Foods, and they wanted to exchange numbers, and they wanted my phone so we could, link them up or whatever. I said, no, I don't have my phone with me, but here's my number. And when I said I didn't have my phone with me, it was like like I was murdering kittens and on live TV in front of children. They're like, why would you leave the house without you? What if something happened? What if there was an emergency? What is like, are you kidding me? I lived for like 50 years without carrying around a phone, and I never died in that time. I think I can probably make it a few more. I might make it 20 minutes to Whole Foods and back without a phone, right? But you've got to set aside daily self-development time. And I think you got to do it in the morning because it creates the mindset that creates your day. And I can always know the difference if I got, well, because Instagram was at the door and then my housekeeper was coming that day. And all of a sudden it's like 11 o'clock and I haven't done my self-development time. I know, oh my God, this is not the way to start my day. And okay, I gotta step back, take a breath. I have to go and like I do reading. So for me, reading is a big thing. But I don't want to open the door. I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to answer the phone until I've done my self-development time. And if you don't believe me, anyone watching or listening to this, I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, you test this and you will find out. But if you spend 30 minutes in the morning reading As a Man Thinketh, or The Magic of Thinking Big, or Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah.
and then you're calling a candidate at 4 in the afternoon, there is a different timbre in your voice. There's a different posture in your body. There's a different glow in your eyes. This is what we call posture. It isn't about just, you're erecting your spine. When we say posture, we mean the way you present yourself to the world. And when our real topic that you selected for this was empowerment, right? Self-empowerment. Well, the self-development in the morning is one of the best ways I know to self-empower you throughout the rest of your day.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, I do a lot of that. As a matter of fact, all of that. And it does. It is a very powerful way to start your day for sure. And you're happy. And you can't
Mhm.
beat being happy, at the beginning of your day, that's for sure. Okay, so my next question is, how does a person's prosperity mindset help others be successful? How is that empowering to themselves and to others?
It sounds crazy or ironic to some people, but the number one responsibility you have to the people you sponsor into your RAIN team is to become successful yourself first.
Right.
You want to show someone how to get to bronze? You got to become bronze. Then you want to show them how to get to gold executive? You got to get to gold. You want to show them how to be a diamond? You want to teach them how to be a diamond? You have to model the behavior. You have to be first, go first, do the work on yourself, pay the price, and accomplish it. And then you can accomplish other people. So if you say, well, I just want to help my people, I don't matter. No, you're sending the wrong message. Because if you don't matter and then you're their coach, they'll say, I don't matter either. So Debbie doesn't matter. I don't matter. What does anything matter? We're all just, it's, so everybody just wants to make money. No, it's about when you join our tribe of solopreneurs, like that's what we are with Rain. We're solopreneurs. We're artists because entrepreneurs are definitely artists. And it's about becoming the highest possible version of yourself. And then, I always say the definition of leadership in our space is working to become the highest possible version of yourself and then creating the infrastructure that allows your team to replicate your results or duplicate your process. That's what we do as leaders. We create tools or systems to empower people to be able to replicate our results. So we have a Magalog, right, with I'm gonna take this one, how to make it rain. We've got a tool like, okay, how do you make money? Well, we created a tool for that. That's what leaders do. The Magalog, the Vitality magazine, right? That's a tool. The I still have a few of the old ones, but we have a new version of this that I have as well. A mass market recruiting tool, right? We create tools, we create training programs, we create things like this Leadership Academy. Um, what is that? That's the infrastructure that empowers people to empower themselves. That's what we can offer that they don't get if they buy a muffler franchise or they open up a dry cleaning store or a beauty parlor or a nail salon or a massage therapist service. They're on their own. There is no
Yeah.
support structure. There is no guidance. There's no training. It's, hey, do or die. Go out and give it your best shot. May the force be with you. Whereas we're saying, hey, we want you to keep whatever your job or your business is, do this part-time, side gig, give us 10 or 12 hours a week and see what you can do with it. See where it'll take you. And we have built out this step by step by step system to guide you through the process.
Yeah, for sure. We have an amazing system, which you created because you're the best.
Well,
Okay,
along
so,
along with Ann
and
Feinstein,
I
right?
was just
And
going to
of
say
course
that.
the
Yeah,
corporate team at Rain.
yeah, I was just going to say that. Okay, so my very last question is, what steps should be taken to actually begin the process of achieving a life of prosperity and success, therefore being an empowered person and to be able to empower others?
Okay, steps. That means I need like a 7-step process or whatever, which I don't have, off the tip of my head, but I would say this.
Ideas.
Yeah, I would say the daily self-development time, non-negotiable,
Right.
some kind of vision. Well, you can call it a goal, call it a dream. I'm a big believer in a dream board. Go to the home, Office Depot, get a piece of poster board or art supply store poster board and just put up images of things you want to do, have, and become. Um, and then give yourself a track to run on. That's what, for you guys who are watching, who are evaluating Rain, that's what Rain can be for you. Rain could be the platform you give yourself or the track to run on. Because again, we don't want you to quit your job or close down your other business or whatever that isn't bringing you the results or the fulfillment or the passion that you would like to come from it. So give yourself a track to run on and then make a commitment to do Rain for 1 year before you evaluate anything. Don't look left, don't look right, swim in your own lane. And just then at the end of the year, you say, okay, well, I got 7 different customers who are using the products and they order from time to time, or 4 of them or 5 of them are on auto ship and they subscription and they order every month, and I count on that. And then I got a few people on this side and a few people on that side. And the truth is my products are for free because I'm covering the cost of my products. And I really, I love going to the events and hanging out with positive people, and that empowers me. And I'm not a millionaire or a billionaire yet, but I feel like I'm on my way. I feel like I'm moving toward my dreams instead of away from my dreams. And then you just got to set aside your time. Biggest, you know, my number one prosperity advice in all the world that I give anyone is charge your phone in a separate room from where you sleep.
Yeah.
So, like, get yourself off that device 2 or 3 hours before you go to sleep and sleep uninterrupted without that, right? So that's my number one prosperity advice. My number one rain advice is get out your planner, whether it's on your phone, in a booklet, on your calendar, wherever. Get out your planner every weekend and schedule your time to work the business for the next week. Block off those 10, 11, 13 hours that you're going to build the business, and then make sure there is a block of time somewhere in the bigger block that's only for inviting. And if you do that, that is the template that keeps a business moving forward. And then it's just keep reprogramming yourself, keep counter programming all of the negative stuff going on. I mean, honest to God, if I wanted to, I could get on cable TV tonight and I could watch 4 hours of just mesmer. At the time we're recording this, there's a government shutdown here in the US, meaning the budget for the next year hasn't been approved. And so they've closed down all the non-essential employees. So there will be reports from the airports, and look at how long the line at the TSA is because they're calling in sick because they don't get their checks. And what about the troops? The troops are facing life and death and they don't get their check. And what about the Democrats have said this and the Republicans have said that? I could watch it every night. It's like we're 3 weeks into this at the time Deb and I are recording this, right? So for 3 weeks, there's nonstop of that stuff. And there are people who do that every night and watch that stuff. And if you're, lean one way, you're watching Fox News. If you lean the other way, you're watching CNBC or MSNBC, I'm sorry. Um, and you got your whole echo chamber to why it's all the other side's fault and why your side is the noble, good side and all of that. And it's just feeding you red meat. It's just fitting your confirmation bias. So you live triggered. You live
Yeah.
in victimhood.
Yeah.
And that's just no way to live. Take your life back. Know what you want to do. Set aside, get out that planner, book the time, and just, I have all kind of friends. I'm on all areas of the political spectrum, and they're sending me WhatsApp and texts and DMs on Facebook, and I'm like, sorry, I'm abstaining from that right now. I'm a builder. I build things. That's what I do. I'm an entrepreneur. So when I'm in builder mode, so I don't have time for politics mode. I don't have time for that anymore. I don't have time for polarization mode. I don't have time for tribal segmentation mode. I don't have time to get on a bunch of social media accounts and get angered and triggered and polarized. I have my dreams and I have my team, and I love my team. I love my people. I love to be working together with positive, powerful people who are working every day to live their dreams. And that's a life that for me, that's a life worth living. Whereas the conventional thing, I just don't think it's about that.
Okay, well, I want to thank you, Randy, for being here with me tonight. This has been beyond amazing for me, and I'm sure for everybody watching. Um, I would like to, again, thank you. And I want to thank all the guests and the associates that were here watching tonight. And I'd like to say, if you are a guest here, um, please get back to the person that invited you and get some of your questions answered about rain, because this is the kind of stuff. This is the stuff that you don't ever hear about, that rain has specifically in miraculous ways, to interact with people. And I think right now it's very wanted and needed to interact with people that are positive thinking and nurturing. So please get back to that person. I will tell you that positioning and timing is everything in this company because we're moving quickly. And ask the person that brought you, to invited you, what does that mean? Positioning and timing. And hope to see you in the chat and invited as an associate and bringing people with you. So that's it for me for tonight. I guess good night.
And let me just say thank you, Debbie. Thanks for putting together the interview. The questions were great. I loved it. And
Thank
thank you
you.
all for watching. Peace.
Peace.